This may be a surprise. I hope this is not a spoiler. But it's not bigger on the inside. I went there, and Jenna was there, and we didn't really know each other very well, but the two of us were there. And there was a prop guy with a smoke gun. Hello, how are you doing? All right, here you go. Yeah, go on. And then when you shut the door, it's black. No one. No round things, no roundels. Tell me about it. I know. Tell me about it. And so I was in there with Jenna, and just we didn't really know each other, and we started saying, "Oh, hello, hello, nice to see you. What did you have for your dinner last night?" I thought, well, I've got to go be Doctor Who now. Excuse me. And you just get on with it.
You gave me a kiss. Actually, you gave me a kiss. And then I remember this is the scene, and there was dinosaurs, and there was the Doctor was all disorientated, and there was Strax and the Green One, and so much going on, and everyone was on set. And I remember it was the third take, and then I just heard something, and then in my head I just went, and he's off, and that was it. Where are we off to next?
Sydney.
Sydney?
Well, which direction is that?
So,
Sydney, that way.
he does this all the time. He does it on set on purpose.
So the Doctor and the companion always seem to leave a lasting impression on each other. I'm curious to know what you think Clara's impression will be on the current Doctor.
I don't really think that's for me to answer. I suppose she's been around a long time. she's been through a lot of different Doctors' incarnations. Yeah.
I think she has taught him to know himself and to understand, to try and understand human beings in a more generous way. I think she brings him an understanding of love and compassion, of the depth of the human soul, and in the form of Jenna, she's brought me immense comfort and happiness, and made my first season as Doctor Who unforgettable as an acting experience, because she's such a class act. She's a star and an incredible person, and yeah, she's fabulous.
Aww.
I didn't cue that.
How are you?
We're good. We're a little jet lagged. We're living a very glamorous life at the moment because we've been in San Diego for Comic-Con there, and then we went to LA, and then I went to London briefly, and then came here yesterday. But we're actually in the middle of filming episode 11.
For season 9.
For season 9, yeah. So they sent us, they were very cruel. They sent me to America, which is full of pancakes and pastries, and I had to not eat any of them, otherwise I would return to episode 11, The Fat Doctor.
We do have a solution, though.
Okay.
We have scenes that could be rewritten if Peter put on too much weight.
Do you want to have any pancakes now, Peter? I mean, we can definitely find some.
Stephen said we could have a scene where the Doctor was locked in a dungeon, and the only way out was, the dungeon was full of pies. And I would just have to eat my way through the pies.
Jenna, when you basically knew that Matt's Doctor would pass and there would be new Doctor, and Peter came on board, what did you think, and what was sort of like the first meeting like?
We actually went for some omelettes. for our first meeting.
Pancakes, omelets. That's a very interesting conversation we're having today.
Yeah. Food is a great comfort.
We did. We went out for lunch first. But it was the regeneration day was a really, really strange day because the lead actor changed mid-scene, literally mid-scene. So we filmed half the scene, and then Matt did this thing and regenerated and literally crossed paths with Peter, shook hands, had a picture.
Get off.
Swapped watches, and we carried on with the scene. So it's just an incredible mix of sadness and end of one era, yet really a lot of excitement to welcome Peter. And
it was a very wonderful day.
it was really, there was something in the air, wasn't
Yeah.
there? It was really charged, the whole atmosphere.
Yeah.
All the crew were there.
Yeah. I mean, Matt's extraordinary, and I love what Matt did with Doctor Who, and he's such a gentleman and such a great guy. And they deliberately kept me away.
I was going in between trailers.
Hidden away in a trailer, and they wouldn't let me on the set to observe what was going on, which was a good idea because I knew Matt would be fabulous, so I didn't want to be sitting there going, "Oh Lord, I'll never follow that." They constructed it in such a way that I never saw him until the moment that I walked on the set, and he gave me a huge hug and took his watch off and gave it to me and said, "The TARDIS is yours now," because we only had the one watch. And then he vanished. Literally, he was just gone, and I was left with Jenna here and the camera crew, and just got on with it.
What is it like on set? I mean, what's the vibe like? What happens once you sort of get the script? Do you guys get the chance to improvise, add storylines? I mean, how does it work?
Generally, we come to read through. We have a read through for every episode that we do, and then all the writers can listen and make changes before we start filming. But generally, we don't really need to make any changes, or we'll just play amongst ourselves and try. If something's not quite working, then we'll find a way through working with each other to try different things, or to make something once it's up on its feet work better. But we don't really make changes as such.
No, we don't. The scripts are really good, so it isn't necessary to alter them. And also, I think sometimes it's a little bit of a lazy reaction to say, "Oh, this line doesn't work, let's change it." And I think it's better to try and look at the scene from another direction. I think you can sort of duck and dive between lines and bring a lot. You can play a scene lots of different ways, and I'm very lucky that Jenna was in the show when I joined it, because apart from the fact that she's glorious and a star and a wonderful person, she's such a fabulous actress that she is able to. I think we're quite simpatico in the way that we work. We can find ways to make the scene our own, I think.
As for the atmosphere, we've been filming for nearly 9 months, 8 months. So we have the same crew for that amount of time, who I think are probably sick of mine and Peter's jokes now, but we still find them very hilarious.
We find each other very funny, which everybody else is very bored with, but we find each other hugely amusing.
What was the most exciting location or the most interesting that you've been to, both of you?
Filmed in the Tower of London.
Oh.
That was pretty cool.
We're always filming in castles or power stations, aren't we? So I thought you were going to say the power stations.
I really wanted to.
Jenna amuses herself greatly at the fact that we were in a power station, which you go to these power stations and it's in the middle of the night.
We were doing a night shoot.
Yeah, because that's the only time you can get into them. And, they've got like uranium and dangerous things in them, and pieces of coal blowing up and gigantic furnaces and stuff. And we were there in the middle of the night doing all this, and I wanted some food.
At this point, we had 10 minutes to get some shots in. We like wrapped in 10 minutes, and we had like 2 more shots to get in. We couldn't find Peter. Peter had gone missing. Turns out he'd gone for a little walk.
A set of cakes and pastries.
And he came back soaking wet, like literally dripping. His entire costume and hair was absolutely soaking wet. So he turned around and everybody's got hair dryers on him and trying to dry him off. And it turns out he found a button.
Well, where the cakes were located, I found, was next to a door, and I could hear the walkie-talkies going, so I knew that if they called me, I'd be able to hear, and I'd be able to dash through that door. So I was busying myself with the cakes, and I hear, we need Peter, we need Peter. So I saw this door, and I saw it had one of those bars, you know, like they have on, you know, this door is alarmed kind of thing, although it didn't say this door, it didn't say anything. So, but I quickly pushed the door like this, and suddenly discovered it was an emergency shower. And I was drenched, because it was in case you got uranium or something, you know, some harmful thing on you in the power station. You had to do that.
So now you can't leave Peter on his own. He gets
He's on
lost.
a leash the whole
he gets
time,
lost,
basically.
and it gets doubly worse if Stephen Moffat is with him.
What was something that was your favorite to do on the set?
Favorite thing to do was that?
Mm-hmm.
Children.
We used to tease the runners quite a lot. We used to have.
Don't go there. You're in Dallas. Don't.
We used to hang out a lot. We just used to hang out. We had little desks with our scripts, and we used to hang out and talk nonsense. And then when we got too excited, we had to physically put ourselves on opposite ends of the TARDIS so that we didn't tire ourselves out too quickly.
We have a lot of fun, don't we?
Yes. I used to see how many jelly babies I could eat between scenes.
Michelle would bring us delicacies from New York, because Michelle is very sophisticated and international.
Used to feed us.
And lives in New York, so she would bring us.
I'd bring them specialised nuts from Whole Foods.
We actually sound quite boring, I think, right now.
We are. We are. That's why we need Stephen Moffat. All right.
That's Jenna.
I might have to do this. It is working, you're just not using it properly.
Projection.
So let me start with Jenna. I thought that Clara's send-off was one of the strongest a companion has gotten. Do you think about what she is doing now that she is off on her own adventures?
Yes, I think that she is probably broken down, and her and Ashilda haven't yet worked out the mechanics of the TARDIS and are trying to get somewhere but can't quite work it yet. It's a complicated manual.
And let me ask you, Peter, Clara's putting faces.
I'm not putting faces. I'm enjoying your stories.
Okay.
Again.
So Clara was so important to your doctor's arc. And now that he has lost her, how is that going to affect him going forward?
Oh, it's just going to be so difficult. It's so hard to get up in the morning in that TARDIS and try and get out there. I think, well, he's forgotten all about her. I'm afraid.
Clara,
so, I think the thing about the Doctor really is he's actually quite mysterious. hence the name Doctor Who. And I'm not sure whether how successfully Clara was able to wipe his mind. And in fact, I just did. I was about to tell you something that I can't tell you now.
I just noticed that. Good save, good save.
Yeah, good save. But I
tried. There's something to look forward to.
Yes, I just shot something that Clara was still there.
Also, but I mean, she's been forgotten, but do her effects still linger?
Her effects have been left lying around the TARDIS. Her slippers, her
chalkboards,
her makeup is all over the place. You will have to wait and see. Sorry.
Hi, this is for both of you. If you could take one prop from the show that does not include the TARDIS, what would it be?
I took a clockwork squirrel, a piece of TARDIS that's missing, also my TARDIS key on a necklace. So as long as they haven't changed the locks. What are you going to take?
I'm not. Where am I going? I don't really have a desire to have any props from the show or anything. It's
Guitar?
Oh yeah, no, the guitar. I have the guitar. What am I saying? Yes, of course I take the. In fact, they very kindly gave me. There was a second guitar which I used in the last episode of the last season because my original guitar was off in the TARDIS and I lost the TARDIS, and they gave me that as a gift at the end of the season. So that was fabulous. So yes, of course I would take the other guitar. And any other guitars that show up.
This is for both of you, and this is, what were the top two most awkward moments for both of you?
Awkward moments. Top two awkward moments.
We don't really have. Oh, is this one?
Maybe this is it.
Is this it? Is this number one or number two?
This is probably the longest silence we've ever had, I think. I'm trying to think, was there anybody, have we embarrassed ourselves or anyone came on this show that was awkward? When we were getting to know each other, it wasn't really awkward.
Well, I took you to lunch. It was a little bit awkward.
Not really.
Maybe not for you. So going to lunch was, from my point of view, a little bit awkward. And this is becoming increasingly awkward.
You did sit down and you did go, there'll be no romance.
She's saying that's the first thing I said to her, no romance. And I was right.
If you could team up with anyone from Classic Who or New Who that you haven't worked with yet, who would you pick?
Tom Baker. I did meet him, but I wasn't in a scene with him. So that doesn't count. So it would be Tom Baker.
Oh, is that?
That's my answer.
That's your answer? Oh, okay.
Oh, why? Is that your answer?
No, I thought you were doing an impression of me doing an impression. I thought you were preempting my answer.
No. That was Jenna giving her answer.
Oh, okay. Alive or dead?
Yes.
I think it would be pretty amazing to see William Hartnell. Can you imagine that?
I've technically been in a scene with him. digitally and with a double, we recreated the scene, and then digitally just did it all. It was very clever and very fun. Sorry, carry on.
Yes, but it wasn't the real William Hart.
But on screen, we've been in a scene together.
Why are you doing this in front of us?
Come on, it's such a good trump card. I can't help it.
Putting me down all the time. Well, the real William Hart, I'd like to. I've actually got. We don't have any cameras here, do we? Well, oh no, we don't have a video camera.
They've been running around a bit.
Oh, okay. Are you operating? Is there a big picture? Is there a big screen?
Is this going to take ages?
No, it's not you. Ask another question.
Okay, over here, please.
Peter, have you ever gotten surprised by someone on set of the TARDIS? Example, pranked or a surprise party on your birthday?
Say that again. Have you ever gotten pranked on the TARDIS or had been surprised?
No, we don't really do very many pranks. Because as you can see, we're very serious, committed, grave actors. There was one rather, slightly in bad taste, I think, prank that was played by Jenna, which was when we were talking about, there was a time before she left when Jenna was talking about leaving, and I used to suggest to make her more uncomfortable, I would mention actresses who might replace her.
It's Peter's favourite joke, to tease me mercifully, or go, bring back Billy Piper.
She's great. They're fantastic. All of them are absolutely amazing. But I did actually. There was an actress who hadn't played a companion who I suggested should be the new companion. And one day we were filming a scene and they were filming my. So I'm not being rude here. This looks like I'm really bored. I'm ugly. Yeah, whatever. I was doing this scene and it was rather emotional and I was doing all my lines and I turned around to deliver my lines to Jenna and she was wearing a mask of the said actress.
You didn't really react.
Well, it wasn't that funny, really.
What is your two favorite lines being the Doctor?
My two most favorite lines?
Yeah.
Don't be lasagna. There's one. And I like...
Do you remember that one? Do you remember that one?
It's my time.
Where you kept laughing at yourself. Was it the one that was like, that's how we roll? It was like one episode and you got so overexcited to do it that you then couldn't do it without laughing.
Yeah, well, I can't remember. It's like I was going to go and destroy all the
And then we go do this, we go do this, we go do this. That's how we roll.
That's it. I like saying I am the Doctor. No, I'm looking for your camera. Is that it? Is it? You're not attached? Okay, it's quite far. I'll just show you a picture. Are you going to zoom in? I don't think this is going to work.
You can see.
See that? That's me and David Bradley as William Hartnell. And that was before I was cast as Doctor Who. That's Mark Gatiss said to me, "Do you want to come to the studio and see something interesting?" And I went, and they were filming an adventure in time and space. And David Bradley was playing William Hartnell, and it was extraordinary. Of course, when I grew up, William Hartnell was my first Doctor, and I would love to have met him or seen him or something, so that was the nearest I got to it.